good morning. I've just decided, decided yesterday to take the motorhome and give it away. Take it down to a weigh bridge, and let's try and work out exactly what's going on with all of our weights. We hear lots of stories about being overweighted or having too much weight at the front or the back, not being properly balanced. So I thought it was about time to actually see what our weight really is. We've got a full tank of water. I'm going to fill it up with diesel and add glue before the weigh. And we've got sort of most of our things on board that we would normally take with us. So once I get a weight of the current situation, I can then just add the other few things that we need to put into the motorhome for our trip. I can just physically add those, weigh them first, and then add them on and see how we're going. It'll be very interesting because I don't have the bike rack and the bikes on. They add quite a bit of weight, but I know their weight, so I can just add that. And Ruth is not with us, as you can see. The passenger seat is empty, and it'll be very interesting. So I'll report back once the weighing's done, or maybe even at the weigh bridge if I get a chance. Hi there. So I've just had the vehicle weighed. So I'll give you a look at the weighbridge report and everything. There's the weighbridge just back there. Give you a look at the weighbridge report shortly. Okay, so I'm on my way back home from the public weighbridge. The one I went to was in Officer, Victoria, actually on the Monash Freeway, inbound. At the service centre there, out the back where all the truck refuelling and truck parking is. There's also this weighbridge, so that's very cool. We're just sort of heading back into Pakenham now. It's just up the road. So here we are, starting to head into the shops. Shop area of Pakenham on the Princess Highway, and there's Bunnings over there and a whole bunch of other stuff. So the weighbridge report looks pretty interesting. I've only had a quick look at it. I'll sum it up when I get home, but I did notice that our gross weight it has weighed the front axle and the rear axle, which will be interesting too, because there are maximums that I have to stay under for those two things as well. But the gross weight that I'm carrying at the moment is 4,300 kilograms, and the gross weight that I'm allowed to carry, the GVM, gross vehicle mass, is 4,500. Or actually 4,495 kilos if you want to be specific. So we've got about 200 kilos left that we could put into it before we're overweight. So it's very interesting. We'll have a good think about it. We'll weigh a few things, and then I'll sum up where it looks like we stand with all our gear and our gross vehicle mass and our real weight that we'll actually be carrying. So I'll talk to you soon. Hi again. I'm back from the big weighing trip.
And I'm back from shopping.
Yes.
At Aldi's.
At Aldi's, of course. So I've had a bit of a chance to look at the weighing summary, the report that we get, and just want to run through what that's all about, what I've found, and I guess the implications for our particular motorhome and what we can, you know, bring or not bring in the future. When you do the weigh, you get a weighing report. They call it a vehicle weighing summary, and you can get it in 3 different forms. Basically, you can type your email address into the control screen at the weighbridge, and you can get a PDF report emailed to you, which is cool. You can also put your phone number in, and you can get it texted to you. They text you a link, and you click on that, and a PDF report comes up on your phone. And you can also get a paper printout. You push a little button, and it's supposed to print out a paper report for you, but I think it had run out of paper when I was there. So I've just opted for the 2 electronic versions, which is fine. So here's the official weighing report, the vehicle weighing summary they call it. Here's the front page. It's basically a summary. You got something to say, dear?
No, it's owned by Goatway. What would you have done if they'd been closed?
Well, I was hoping they weren't closed after going to all the trouble to drive the motorhome down there. It's supposed to be 24/7, so I had my fingers crossed. But I thought, well, seeing the company that runs it is called Goatway, that if it was closed, I'd just have to go away and come home. So luckily I didn't have to go away straight away. I could do the weigh immediately. So that was good. So here's the report you get. It's sort of a 2-page report. Here's the first page, and it's got, you know, a lot of details on there, but I've circled the blue part there, which gives you the information that I was after, and that's our gross weight, which was 4,300 kilos, and it also gives you the weight over the rear axle and the front axle. So I'll talk about those a little bit in a minute. On the second page of the report, it's basically some additional photos. It's pretty cool the way they have lots of cameras around, which I didn't realise, taking photos of you weighing your vehicle, and photos of the 4 different parts of the weighbridge. It's actually like 4 separate weighbridges in one.
What's all that blue?
Yeah, I don't know. The photos, we're just looking at the photos in the second page, and it's got funny colours, you know, the sort of blue bits which are not actually blue.
And it's green on the back
and green on the back of the motorhome. So yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about. Whether they're trying to intelligently erase any writing that might be on the back of the motorhome, I've got no idea. But that's cool. They're the 2 pages of the report you get. The second page, you know, it's got, like I said, it's got those additional camera images that they've taken while you're doing the weighing, and it's also got like a tax invoice and another summary of the weights. So a very comprehensive report, and quite impressed. And yeah, you might, if you freeze it and have a bit of a look through that second page, you'll be able to see that it actually cost me $45 for the weighing. And I do believe if I'd have had the Suzuki Swift on the back at the time, I could have weighed that as well. And that's similar to somebody weighing their main vehicle and a caravan. And I think if you want to get those additional weight done of like a trailer or something that you're towing, the cost was like $50 something. Not sure the exact amount, so a little bit more. But that could have been useful too. I've sort of tried to summarise it a little bit in the spreadsheet. I guess the main things I'd like to highlight with these figures is the column that says target limit. So that's our maximums. You can see there the maximum we're allowed. That's for the motorhome. That's the gross vehicle mass. is 4,495 kilos, pretty close to 4.5 tonne. And our motorhome actually weighed 4,300. So that gives us about 195 kilos of remaining payload, you know, all the extra stuff that we can put on board that wasn't there when I weighed it. Also, if you want to get a bit more specific, totally legal, you can look at your front axle load and the rear axle load. And once again there I've got the target limit column. The maximum we're allowed to have over the front axle is 2,300 kilograms, and we only had 1,920 kg. So 380 spare on the front axle we could, you know, load up. And the rear axle, that was interesting because its target limit is 2,500. That's the maximum we're supposed to have over the rear wheels, and it came in as 2,380, so only about 120 kilos of additional weight over the rear wheels. So as we put in the last few things into the motorhome, we just need to be aware that if we're putting anything a little bit heavy in, it's going to be better if we can put it up towards the front of the vehicle and not increase the weight over the rear wheels that much. We've got our coffee here too, by the way, which is good.
You can't put the e-bikes over the front wheels.
No, I can't put the e-bikes over the front wheels, and yeah, I'm going to mention that in a sec. They're going to push that rear axle limit probably close to the max. But just in the spreadsheet here too, just down the bottom row, I've got a little mention of the Suzuki Swift. Its weight is governed a little bit differently. It's basically the amount that you're allowed to hook up to our tow bar and tow behind you, and that's a maximum of 1,500 kilograms. The actual weight, or the curb weight of the Suzuki, from what I can work out looking at specifications put up by Suzuki themselves, is about 1,040 kilograms already, and that's with a full tank. So we could put some additional bits and pieces in that, pretty much, you know, up to almost another 400 kilos, let's say 350 kilos. So that's a good little overload situation for us if we didn't want to overload the motorhome itself. In this other spreadsheet, I've just basically put there some other things, other heavy things that came to mind straight away, and that was 2 e-bikes and the bike rack and an additional passenger because Ruth wasn't there at the weighbridge.
And I wouldn't let him have it separately.
Yeah.
It had to be combined.
Yeah, I've combined e-bikes, rack and passenger because you can't get too specific about women's weights.
No.
I've found over the years. So just a combined amount there, about 125 kilos is what will get added when I put the bikes and Ruth in. And so that only leaves us about 70 kilograms of remaining things. And just thinking about the remaining things.
Clothes.
Yep, we've got our clothes. We've got no clothes in here at the moment, so we've just got to put on board a few clothes. Ruth's got an additional blanket she's going to bring for the bed. We've got to bring in a little bit more food. There's some food here. The sort of non-perishable stuff's already in here, but there'll be a bit more food comes in. My drone and its batteries and controller. Drones. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that I had multiple drones. I don't want to sound too much like a geek. And then also other electronic devices like a laptop and iPads. They'll come in too. That was sort of all we could sort of think of that we haven't got in here already. But yeah, that's, you know, we've only got 70 kilos basically for all that additional stuff. So it's been a very interesting exercise because, you know, having just 70 kilos left, and also knowing that by the time I put the e-bikes and the rack right up the back at the tow bar, you know, that's going to start pushing up our rear axle maximum pretty close to its limit. So
I'm sure it'll be over the limit.
it'll be what?
Won't it be over?
No, I don't think it'll be over. We'll be just under. So good to know, though. Good to know how it's all situated, and we wouldn't have really had a clue without doing that that way. It gives us a bit of a baseline now, just to and an understanding of you know, how we need to load up in the future. So it's been I think it's been worth every cent of the $45, as long as you don't have to do it too frequently. So yeah, really good. Anything else to add, dear?
No.
No? Cool. Okay, so once again, please like and subscribe, and don't hesitate to hit us up with some comments. If you've got any questions, something that I might have found out but forgot to cover about weighing, then certainly put it in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer it. Okay, and from one big thing to the next.
See you soon.